We're now talking about a long war. In this long war, the United States is going to be at a significant disadvantage.
4 US crew members have died after a military refueling aircraft crashed in western Iraq. US Central Command says the incident involved another plane that managed to land safely. This wasn't the result of hostile fire and happened in what's been described as friendly airspace. The KC-135 aircraft had 6 service members on board, and rescue efforts are continuing. The Islamic resistance in Iraq claims it shot down the plane in defence of its country's sovereignty. This archive footage shows what the aircraft looks like. Meanwhile, a French soldier has died after a drone attack in the north of Iraq. 6 French troops who were providing counter-terrorism training were wounded in the strike. President Emmanuel Macron has said the attack is unacceptable and unjustifiable. Fire and smoke was seen rising into the night sky in Erbil. Iranian state media has read out the first comments from its new supreme leader, but the address wasn't accompanied by footage of Mojtaba Khamenei and was delivered by a female newsreader. Unconfirmed reports have suggested he's in a coma and needed a leg amputation after being caught up in the strikes that killed his father and other family members. An Iranian official has told the Reuters news agency that Khamenei was lightly injured as a result of Operation Epic Fury, but is continuing to operate. And Donald Trump has said he believes Khamenei is still alive, but may have been damaged by the US and Israel's attacks. In the address, the new supreme leader vowed to keep the Strait of Hormuz shut. He also warned neighbouring countries in the Gulf that Iran's retaliatory strikes will continue unless American military bases in the region are closed.
We thank the people of Iran from all walks of life who stood against the enemy, and he emphasized that the tool for using the Hormuz Strait must be used, and it will be used in accordance to our interest. And the Supreme Leader also sent condolences to the people who have lost their loved ones during the war, and he emphasized that the damages will be compensated, and he said that the crime against the humanity and against the children, like what happened in Mina, will not be ignored.
The Supreme Leader's remarks appear to be at odds with Iran's ambassador to the UN. Amir Saeed Iravani has said Tehran won't close the Strait of Hormuz and it remains committed to freedom of navigation. The US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has said the Navy will begin escorting vessels through the critical waterway once it's militarily possible to do so.
As long as the Council fails to discharge its duties, Iran has no choice but to exercise its inherent right to self-defense under UN Charter and international law. Iran fully respects and remains committed to the principles of freedom of navigation under the law of the sea. However, the current situation in the region, including in the Strait of Hormuz, is not the result of Iran's lawful exercise of its right of self-defense. Rather, it is the direct consequence of the destabilizing actions of the United States in launching aggression against Iran and undermining regional security.
The new Supreme Leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, has said that they want to make sure that the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, and now you said that you support freedom of navigation. Can you clarify Iran's position now, what it is?
No,
why?
I said we are not going to close the Strait of Hormuz, but it is our inherent right to preserve the peace and security in this waterway.
There have been explosions in Tehran this morning after Israel launched a wide-scale wave of strikes. Meanwhile, the IDF has been stepping up its attacks in southern Lebanon. Civilian infrastructure has been targeted, including a bridge allegedly used by Hezbollah militants. Yesterday, a drone struck another residential apartment in Beirut. Hundreds of thousands of people in Lebanon have now been displaced by the conflict, amid reports Israel is prepared for an extended campaign in the country. This was the scene in Beirut last night. A British man has been charged in Dubai after allegedly filming Iranian missiles over the city. The 60-year-old tourist is one of 21 people charged over videos and social media posts about the retaliatory strikes. Laws in the United Arab Emirates prohibit publishing or sharing material that could disturb public security. Radha Sterling is CEO of Detained in Dubai, which provides legal support to those facing criminal charges in the city. She says the allegations against this British man are very vague, and in some cases people have been arrested even when they haven't posted their videos online.
We've been inundated since the missiles started striking, and the latest one, the Londoner, was charged along with 20 other people. And this is all just for taking a video. Now, since I released that just a few hours ago, we've been contacted by other people who were just pulled aside by police. They happened to be on the Palm at the time of a missile strike, looked up and took a photo or video of a missile. They had their children there, and obviously no ill intent. But the police pulled them aside, asked to look at their phone, and when they saw that there was a video, it wasn't even shared, they took him away, locked him up. People in a situation like this, a crisis, are going to look out the window, see an explosion, see a building on fire, see a missile in the air, and reach for their phone, record a video. They don't share it on social media. Maybe they share it with friends and family, but they're still being arrested for that. And that, to me, is counterproductive. If they're concerned about the UAE being seen as dangerous, and I think this is the main thing, and what it speaks to is they don't want these pictures hanging around on the internet, these videos showing Dubai under attack, and they're going to be around for years. It potentially damages the country's economy.
Amnesty International has accused the United Arab Emirates of criminalising the right to freedom of expression. But the UAE's Minister of State, Lana Nabessi, has said the law is necessary to protect its people.
In order for everyone to feel safe, it's important at this time that the information is credible and the sources are reliable. That is the basis of the legislation that has come into play in this state, which is obviously a tense time.
But if you're just an innocent tourist, or me as a journalist, and I see something quite extraordinary, the aftermath of something, a drone attack or whatever, and I innocently pick up my phone, it seems a little bit over the top to arrest that person, potentially have them face 2 years in jail.
Look, actually, if you look at legislation around the region in this state of crisis, if you even look at legislation in contexts such as Ukraine, this legislation is quite common. We put out public warnings. We ask people not to do things. Unfortunately, unless there is strict legislation and guidelines in place, a lot of people continue to do those things.
This is now the 14th day of war in the Middle East. More than 1,300 people have been killed in Iran and 17,000 injured. Early evidence suggests a US missile was responsible for a fatal strike on a girls' school in Iran. Israeli strikes have left almost 700 people dead in Lebanon, with 1,500 hurt. Dozens have lost their lives following Iran's retaliatory strikes against Israel, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia and the UAE. 7 US soldiers have also been killed, with 150 injured during Operation Epic Fury. Yesterday, the White House posted this. Oil prices are rising. The cost of petrol is increasing in major economies. Repeated opinion polls have shown American voters are skeptical about the conflict. They also think this operation makes them less safe and threatens national security in the long run. But since Operation Epic Fury began, the White House has been repackaging war for entertainment. This AI-generated video depicted the Iranian regime as bowling pins.
Strike to claim it, a strike to claim it, and he got it!
Here comes the heat from the USA! Boom! Pins down, what a strike! That's right! Who do you think you are? I am!
The reaction to these videos has been overwhelmingly negative. Some have said they're ashamed of the US government and posts like this should be beneath the White House. Others have claimed the inflammatory clips are designed to act as a distraction about the barbarism of this war. Companies are also being dragged into the row, with Nintendo being urged to denounce the Wii Sports video and order the White House to take it down. NBC's chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, says former US military commanders are furious about these memes and war is no laughing matter.
The White House has been putting out these videos, splicing together real combat footage in which people are dying, where Iranian military targets, ships, bases are blowing up, and intercutting them with movie clips, sports clips, video games. And I've been speaking to many senior former U.S. military commanders, people who had top-level positions, and to say that they are outraged is an understatement. They are furious. I had conversations that were peppered with four-letter words. What are these people doing? What are they thinking? Only someone who has never really seen combat could think that it is a joke and put out material like this. They were asking me, who's doing this? Who's in charge of the White House's account right now? Is it some 20-year-old who thinks that this is some laughing matter? And one senior U.S. military official, former official, told me that it is offensive and disrespectful for every single person involved in this war, including the Iranians themselves.
According to a growing number of experts, Donald Trump may not be winning as much as he thinks. While the president has insisted Operation Epic Fury is far ahead of schedule, the escalation in fighting across the region now means that a quick victory isn't possible. And with a new leader in place, analysts say Iran has leverage as it continues to disrupt the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. John Mearsheimer is a professor at the University of Chicago.
We're now talking about a protracted war. We're now talking about a long war. And in this long war, the United States is going to be at a significant disadvantage. It's very important to understand that once Iran withstands the initial attacks and the war gets drawn out, Iran is in a much stronger position than the United States and Israel, because all Iran has to do to win this war is to survive and at the same time continue to inflict punishment on Israel, the United States and its allies in the Arab world, and to continue to shut down the Straits of Hormuz and cause great pain not only in the Middle East but around the world. The fact that the United States was unable to win a quick and decisive victory tells you that the United States is in trouble as this war settles into a protracted war. This is like the Vietnam War. The United States, as I said, always won the battles, but the United States lost the war.